Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity. This is an extraordinary moment because in the pandemic situations, but we can still hold very interesting seminars. Thank you very much to Professor Tomo Merigenusi from Miyagi University. He always support me to participate in the DRR projects. Also, Dr. I from UNESCO and Ms. Fitri, expert person to conducting this webinar. My title for presentation is Volcano Learning Project, the Science Communications Model to the Volcanic Eruption Crisis in Indonesia. Okay, yeah, this is Indonesia's volcano distributions map. I think almost people know that Indonesia have a lot of number of volcano. This map of the distributions of volcano in Indonesia. Geographically, Indonesia is located at the confluence of the three giant plates, Eurasian, Indo-Australian, and Pacific plates. As a result of the meeting of the three plates, Indonesia has hundreds of active volcanoes with geological potential disaster that will emerge at any time. Often people say that Indonesia is window to both volcanic and tectonic disaster. Yeah, actually from this slide we can see that we have 147 active volcanoes and 30% in Java Island. From this fact, we have one challenge, how to make a good preparations to deal with it. This one's become harmful to all people in Indonesia. Okay, next. This one is eruption phenomena in Indonesia. Actually, every volcano in Indonesia has unique eruption characterized and is different from one volcano to another. As I demonstrate on this slide is the massive eruption of Merapi that occurred in 2010 with hundreds of lives lost. Eruptions are accompanied by hot clouds that are very dangerous for the populations and surrounding settlements. But for my people, the volcanoes are an important part of people's lives in Indonesia. Although it gives a terrible impact of eruptions, but the volcano provides extraordinary blessing for the surrounding populations. Various forms of ritual communication are always carried out by citizens, and we hope that the relationships between humans and nature will continue to occur harmoniously. This one is volcanic eruption challenges in Indonesia. Actually, we noted the average volcano in Indonesia is strato. Strato is big bodies of volcano and always give big impacts to surrounding peoples. And then the second fact, the number of victims due to eruptions on average is relatively large. And then the last fact, the public awareness in facing the danger of eruption is relatively low. This has become an important point for us, how to make a good condition for Indonesian society to facing eruption disaster. Next. Okay, this one is a profile of geoscience learning in Indonesia. Actually, I try to show you about the profile geoscience courses and volcanology, one part from geoscience. Actually, the style of geoscience courses like in the slide. For the first one, students are only received to information about volcano materials. You just hear about information volcano. And then the other fact, students receive long presentation with a scientific process. And then students are less involved in the practice of geoscience. And the last one, lecturers don't engage students in inquiry activities to strengthen understanding of the geoscience concept. This is a profile geoscience courses in Indonesia. And then from the geoscience courses, we have paid condition for students understanding about volcanic conceptions. Actually, from this slide, we can see that students are less familiar with the shape of the volcano. Most students are still difficult to distinguish between magma and lava and so on. This is give information for us if almost students less understandings about volcano. Next. Okay, we have one question, how to communicate the eruption disaster to school teacher. Actually, for school teacher, always got information from disaster agency. In Indonesia, we often call PNPB. But sometimes he don't understand what can they do. Actually, I try to show you about 5 pillars how to communicate the eruption disaster to school teacher. For the first one, we must know that the volcanic activity, this one becomes central action for others, and then other pillars start from volcanic risk assessment, forecasting and decision-making skill, disaster management and risk education, and people and environment. Disaster management and risk education is very, very important to make a good condition to our school teacher. How to make disaster management and risk education so our society got safe with the volcanic eruption. And the next, okay, role of scientists in supporting science and or disaster communication in Indonesia. Actually, I try to share about one idea. This is a volcano learning project I see called VLP. Uh, VLP have a responsibility to change between vulnerable people become resilient people. We know that almost people in Indonesia sometimes uh, less understandings about volcanic disaster. So we often call vulnerable people, and then we must to support them become resilient people. Next, this one is design programs of VLP or Volcano Learning Project. Actually, we have 2 kinds of activities, start from classroom activity and field tour. According to ESG, I try to infuse ESG in the classroom activity. Actually, we must make a considerations between economy, environments, and society. And then in classroom activity, we encourage geoscience knowledge and geoscience skills and scientific value. Actually, we can use computer simulations, website or internet, and scientific literature. And we can give some exercise about case study, especially about volcanic environmental problems. Actually, after that, we can bring uh, school teachers through fieldwork with project-based learning. From fieldwork, school teacher will make a connection between volcanic people to constructing into disaster response and make a disaster preparedness. I think this concept is very important for us to make a good preparation for school teacher. And then this one is benefit of teacher classroom. Actually, we have 3 kinds of benefit through VLP in teacher training. For the first one, the teacher has a conscious attitude about the eruption disaster, and the teacher has knowledge about the eruption disaster. And the last one, the teacher has the ability to solve the problem of eruptions and its dangers. Next. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry if my English is not good, but I try to keep information for you about my programs, but I hope you can receive good. Thank you very much.